will get true nationalism as a functional model, where everyone has a community of interest with each other as citizens, and there is no incentive for secret knowledge or parasitic speculation or manipulation on commodities or assets of commodities, or asset speculators speculating or manipulating assets and commodities they don't even own. Because money will be generated by work, innovation, technology, and this will increase the value of each citizen's share in the central bank or healthcare system, or the various institutions of governments which they own. So the inputs of each citizen lift the whole nation to progress incrementally. It won't be perfect as a system of money, but it will be more apt to be in harmony with the real economy to help us survive as a nation, be that England as part of the EU or the whole Western world. I do believe culture's systematic solutions to problems are very different out of necessity. Bantu African culture did not develop traditions of high-level organisational skills because diseases like malaria prevented large cities or towns in the past. So people in Africa developed small semi-nomadic communities to be apt to survive. However, we have modern medicine now. There are large cities in Africa developing, and if we want immigration to stop, to be halted, so our own populations can live as we want, based on the consensual principle of self-determination, and not be intellectually or physically colonised, we must at least look at a strategy to raise living standards abroad. By being in the background, we can encourage third world nations to force their public servants or military to do their duty, but I would prefer to help make real nations based on ethnic and constitutional loyalty in Africa that reflect on the ground what is happening. If we don't want a Rwanda or South African genocide type situation, we have to make a framework for true nations to be born without violence, so we do not waste our soldiers' lives. We need cooperatives on the ground to bind different factions economically before geopolitical separation into nation states can occur. What the EU has done before with incentives to Libya. The EU tried to do this in order to halt immigration on a long-term basis instead of just stopping them at the coast and machine gunning warning shots at them, which does not solve the causation of why they are moving here and invading our lands illegally. It is both due to the rich in Africa being militarised like Kony and Laurent Kabila, stealing food or making people slaves, and those in the middle class, i.e. business owners, trying to get out to come and live off our welfare system, which should not be open to non-EU citizens. The case for debt relief for the third world is strong, but if the West workforce are taxed to pay for the debt or aid just so that the rich in the third world can steal it, that is not only counterproductive but unethical. The separation of southern Sudan is still bloody, but is a better model than what happened in Eritrea or the bloodbath that is happening in Zimbabwe or South Africa, which continues. I would advise anyone to just research Julius Malema's for killing the Boers families, kill the Boers, for instance. If we can't get that mass murdering genocidal vermin of Julius Malema or Kony in The Hague, how do I ethically not call for a child rapist like Kony to not be in The Hague? When I also call for Julius Malema to be on trial in The Hague, there is no hierarchy in genocide. Genocide is genocide. Murder is murder. So my point is that we don't give up our nationalism of liberty and equality and balance with natural and economic rights, with citizens' constitutional duties to each other for the sake of security at home or in outer lands, because if we sacrifice liberty and equality for security, we'll probably get neither. But we do recognise that negative trends such as war, slavery, genocide and totalitarianism feed off each other. So we need to export rational solutions where other nations have fallen into lack of confidence, lack of responsibility, or the tragedy of hopelessness. Nationalism is there to arm us with reason, as well as rights and duties. We must find allies where we can, but have no entangling non-European alliances. Although sometimes I disagree with your conclusions, your videos are excellent and well presented in their arguments. Keep making them. All the best, InfoCamp. So hopefully we've got to a more kind of comprehensive idea of what nationalism is, rather than it meaning different things to different people. Please leave your comments and rate this video, leave video responses, and subscribe to InfoCamp channel, and also the System is Anti-Whites channel. As I said, I don't agree with him on everything, but he puts ahead good arguments, and YouTube should be a forum for every political persuasion to have a discussion, because discussions stop wars and they stop evil from spreading, because people can come to more of a consensus, or they can agree to disagree. Both of those things are ethical principles to be by. Also, it's about the principle of consent as well. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.